Hey, John.
Yes.
John.
What?
I don't know if you know this.
I don't.
But it's time for the Rage Select podcast.
It is?
It's right now.
Oh, my God.
You're on it.
Oh, shit.
Congratulations.
I got to get out of here.
I've locked all the doors.
No.
Timers are set.
No.
I had to institute this policy a long time ago. The second time I said, hey, John, E3 podcast. And he was like, it was just like a John-sized hole in the wall. It was like a Looney Tune. Just bang, the big beard around the edges.
Yeah.
But no, it's time for the Rage Select podcast. Back one more time on Rage Select. And I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
Yes, and we have... it's weird this week, John. There's lot.
Stuff.
There's things and stuff and junk. Yeah, I kind of wish, I know that I keep saying this and everybody's probably tired of hearing me say this. I really wish the fucking video game industry would stop releasing every single game on Friday. Like,
Not going to happen.
there's like 4 games. Maybe you want to get ahead of the pack. Maybe you want to like get some of those dollary dues from people on Tuesday, and then maybe don't release both Wolfenstein games on the same day, video game industry. Maybe release one of them on Tuesday and the other one on Friday. I'm just saying, I know it's a weird concept.
No. They're on 2 different platforms. It's fine. One's VR, one's not,
No.
2 different markets, Jeff.
No.
2 different markets.
I say nay. I say I'm a horse, and I say nay to that. All those noises. So yeah. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. We've got some lingering things from San Diego Comic-Con, but not much of it because we're not like MovieCentralSelect.com where we announce that half the upcoming Marvel things are television shows?
No, that's only like 3 television shows and the rest are movies.
I don't know, man. What was that?
4,
Hawkeye,
sorry.
What
Hawkeye,
If,
WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and then What If. Those are the only TV shows that they talked about.
I don't know. I looked at that Phase 4 map, and my eyes just kind of glazed over.
And what's funny is they didn't even talk about everything. There's still other stuff that's part of Phase 4 that they didn't even go into, like Black Panther 2, Captain Marvel 2. A Fantastic Four movie and something to do with those mutant characters.
Oh my god! There's so many. There's so many Marvel things. I think I'm marveled out, John. I think that I've kind of gotten marveled out. Like it used to be that there's a couple movies for me to keep track of every year, right? Just go watch a couple movies that come out,
and that's still the case. You only have a couple movies to watch every year. I mean, this year you only had Endgame and Spider-Man. Next year, you'll have 2 movies.
Yeah.
The year after that, you'll only have 2 movies.
Well, regardless, that may be the case. Maybe, but I guess after Endgame, I just feel like I want to rest. I feel like I don't want to just start up again. And I know, but it kind of reminds me of the reason that I stopped reading comics, where it just seems like there's like way too much to keep track of. And I don't know. Probably just being a jerky Jeff here because I feel marveled out. That's
okay.
That's the way I feel. Endgame was such a big fucking thing, and then it was
I'm gonna be honest. I get it. Endgame was a big thing. It was a big build up to the big thing, and people want a bit of a break. And unfortunately, instead of a break, you got another Spider-Man movie, and then a Black Widow movie that's going to be coming out next year, along with another fucking movie that comes out next year. I don't remember which one's supposed to come out next year. In addition to Black Widow, it's like no. There's no slowing down.
It never stops.
Yeah,
it never stops.
Now we're starting up the next thing. Like this may have been only Phase 3,
right?
But
of infinity phases.
This is technically the new chapter.
I'm not ready for a new chapter. I'm not ready for a new chapter. And you know what? I'm getting to a point where the number of TV shows and movies and things and there's another Star Wars movie coming out and
there's a Star Wars TV series, The Mandalorian.
Oh no, it's just too much. It's too much. I think that's why I've been liking going back to anime because there's like 2 things for me to watch on anime, and I could just.
I've got like 6 animes that I'm watching.
I finally finished
Fire
Fullmetal
Force,
Brotherhood, Alchemist.
Oh yeah.
Which was totally worth watching.
Yeah.
Totally worth watching.
Vinland Saga. That's a good one.
Yeah.
It's only got 3 episodes out so far, but...
Does it have any zombies in it?
No, it's Viking. It's like drama Vikings.
No zombies at all?
No zombies.
Well, Zombieland Double Tap has zombies.
Yeah, it does.
In it.
Nice segue there.
Yeah, it's like this is a segue equivalent of hitting you in the face with a baseball bat when you weren't looking.
Yeah, no, I felt it like right across my face.
Well, no, I tell you what. Before we talk about that, what are you looking forward to of that big Marvel thing? Because I was talking about how I was a little bit underwhelmed at SDCC. You seem like you're very excited for all the Marvel announcement stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the fact there's going to be a new Blade movie, I think is pretty fucking rad, and the actor they got for it is great.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I love the story of how that Blade movie came to be.
Yeah.
Which is I always fuck up his name, Marshala Ali.
Oh yeah, I think so. I believe that's how you say it.
After he won an Oscar or whatever for Green Book or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the next day, he called up Kevin Feige and said, "Hey, I want to be Blade. Let's make this happen." And he went, "Well, you did just win a big award. I can't refuse you."
I think that is this I never really realized it, but the whiplash involved with like an Oscar award winning actor as Blade, and I like no shade to Blade, but like Blade's not exactly like an A tier.
Well, what's also funny is this is not the first Marvel character he has played.
Yeah,
He's the Prowler in Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
He's also
was he in Luke Cage?
Yeah, he was the first villain in Cottonmouth. Yeah,
in Luke Cage. Yeah,
yeah.
Okay.
So it's like this is not his first rodeo when it comes to this.
By Phase 6, Mahershala Ali is just every character in the Marvel universe.
Of course.
So that's probably at the top of your list. You would say
more the surprises. I thought I'm more interested in Thor: Love and Thunder than I was prior to its announcement of reveal the title and then also reveal the thing with Jane Foster coming back.
Right.
Like that, I would actually say the most shocking to me was hearing Natalie Portman coming back because of the reason she kind of left.
Yeah.
The Marvel, like her whole thing, like it wasn't a good. Separate her leaving that franchise.
Robert motherfucking Redford came back for Endgame, and Natalie Portman wouldn't. Apparently,
yeah. Oh no, she did.
Well, she recorded some voice lines.
No. Apparently, she recorded some scenes and some voice lines, and the scenes got cut.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
So she apparently did. Actually, because apparently there's a whole sequence where her and Rocket Raccoon are having a conversation. That got cut from the movie because of time.
Because it was already 6 hours long.
Yeah.
And it could be 6 hours and 5 minutes long. And you need to make it, yeah.
Yeah. So, her actually like coming back to do a full-on movie, I understand why she did come back because of the reason.
Right.
But, I was kind of shocked by that. But I'm a little bit more interested in seeing that than I was
before
that announcement occurred.
Sure. Because you were cool on Ragnarok.
Yeah,
you were cooler than I was.
It was.
I love
okay.
it.
I felt like it was overhyped.
Yeah.
I felt like the comedy undercut the tragedy of the film.
Sure,
like severely at the detriment of the film.
Right.
And everyone disagrees with me on that, so apparently I'm wrong. But I stand by it. So fuck you, people who want to argue with me about that.
I mean, there's no right answer to did the comedy in a movie work for you? Yes, no.
And it's not to
either
say that,
are acceptable.
And it's not to say that there weren't funny moments. There were. It just I felt like it undercut the dramatic moments.
Sure.
Too much.
No, I mean you and I have had this conversation.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
but yeah. I'm trying to think of what Eternals has a great cast.
Yeah.
That one I'm interested in because even though I'm a huge Marvel nerd, the Eternals is probably the one property I know the least about.
Mm-hmm.
I know they exist, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of interested to see where this goes because I feel like with all the movies that they announced, with the exception of Black Widow, like I don't know anything. Like I don't know where it goes.
I feel like Eternals.
I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know where they could go with it.
Right.
I'm just like, well, let's fucking see what happens here. I'm excited. I don't know what's going to happen for once.
I feel like Eternals is like what's the Black Bolt Medusa Inhumans, but even more obscure. Like I have just no idea what that even is. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe the fire will be relit in me soon. But yeah, I need a rest. Maybe I need to go live in the woods for a year. Anyway, let's burn through a couple of these trailers that we got so that we could jump into the video game news. So today, this was not SDCC, but we got Zombieland Double Tap.
The first trailer, yeah.
Hugely crowbarred in there before. This is weird. I feel like I kept hearing about this, and then it was like, because when did Zombieland come out? I mean, it's been like 5 years or something like that? I mean,
about 4 or 5 years.
I mean, I liked Zombieland. I guess I just felt like if they were going to do a follow-up, that would have been a lot sooner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which this, I mean, this looks like more Zombieland. I'm digging it.
I enjoyed the movie. I didn't love it, but I enjoyed it. So, for the people who loved it, this looks like more of what they love and looks like it's going to be fun. And I'm pretty sure when it comes out, I'll watch it and I'll be like, that's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And then I'll move on.
Yeah, I mean,
just like I did with the first one.
Yeah, I think I watched the first one like twice, but I never like went back to it for any reason. I like me a good zombie comedy though, so I like a good zom-com, but not a rom-zom. No rom-zoms. I do not. What was that dumb movie about the teenagers? It was Twilight with zombies.
Oh.
Or the girl falls in love with a zombie and he turns into like a real boy, sort of.
Yeah, well, the zombie falls in love with a girl, and then as he starts to develop more feelings, he starts to come back to life.
Yeah.
And starts to be unzombified.
Yeah.
Because she restarted his heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember what the title of that movie was.
Anyway, I don't know. I think this actually looks pretty fun. And I mean, given that I'm glad they got everybody back from the first Zombieland. Maybe we need to go back and watch Zombieland again. But I don't know. It seems pretty cool. At least it seems like it's got a nice trailer that was cut together and was fun. It was fun and lighthearted. Unlike goddamn Captain Picard, this is the second Picard trailer.
Some surprises in this trailer. This was from Comic-Con.
I got problems. I'm still. Oh man, I am so. It's just so moody. It's so moody and dark. Like
I think it's interesting because I was watching a lot of interviews with the cast from Comic-Con, and I thought it was very interesting that when they approached Patrick Stewart to do the series, he was like, I don't want this to just be Next Generation Part 2.
Right.
Like it has to be something different.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be its own thing. I don't mind if other actors from the Next Generation come and like guest in an episode or something, but if you want me back, this needs to kind of be its own thing. And then he also apparently made the pledge of the only demand that I will make is that I never have to wear the uniform.
Okay.
Of course,
I had like 9 years of those pajamas, motherfuckers.
Of course, the funny thing is that Comic-Con he goes, and now I'm wearing egg on my face because next week we're going to be filming a scene that's a flashback scene, and to their promise, I wasn't supposed to be wearing a uniform in the scene, but the other day I was reading the script and I walked up to him like, this scene doesn't make sense unless I'm wearing the uniform. I need to wear the uniform.
Are you sure, Mr. Stewart? Are you sure that you told us you didn't want to put the uniform on?
Yeah, so he's like, I am now wearing egg on my face, and then people were like, oh, did you get your personal suit that you kept after the show ended? Are you wearing that, or they have to make you a new one? He goes, oh no, they had to make me a new one because they can't afford to rent out my original costume. And they were like, oh, that's funny. You're so funny. He's like, no, seriously. Like, it's on display at a museum. And for me to get it back from the museum, I have to actually pay a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to pay it. And the studio couldn't afford to pay it.
I'm so conflicted with this because I haven't gone back to Discovery. I didn't really like the first couple episodes of it. It was just,
I heard it got really good in the second season.
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know. But like, there's just so much nostalgia mining in this trailer about like, remember this character, and I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm going to watch one episode, and if the first episode doesn't do anything for me, I want it to be good. I want it to be good. It's just that Star Trek seems like it's become so much more like action-packed with the contrast turned way up and the saturation down, and everybody's very serious all the time about a lot of stuff. And I don't know. Like, I miss a lighthearted space romp. Again,
Yeah.
Maybe I just need to go watch the Orville and shut up and go watch the Orville.
And I get that.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. And last but not least, and this is a misery sandwich with some happy bread. There was a trailer out of Comic-Con for Creepshow, which I really love. Creepshow, the movie,
Yeah.
And this is going to be a 12-episode Shudder series.
Shudder original series, yeah.
And that sounds great to me. I mean, I like Us, and I like the Babadook, and I like a lot of these heavy like movies, but I also kind of like it when horror has like a fun side to it. It's kind of scary and kind of fun. That's why I liked that. Was that You Might Be the Killer?
Yeah.
Because it had some fun.
Oh
to
yeah,
it,
no,
right?
that movie's very fun.
And Creepshow had some fun to it too, of being kind of
Yeah.
pulpy and wackadoo. And I don't know. This looks like I like anthology horror. Shudder's been kind of killing it recently.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to definitely give this one a shot. And by that I mean reactivate my Shudder subscription.
Yeah, I get it with Verve. Like I'm subscribed to Verve, so Shudder's just part of it.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
I know that Amanda's big into horror movies. You guys watch anything good on Shudder recently, or has there been any
not
originals?
Recently. I mean, we watched the Joe Bob Briggs stuff.
Okay.
The Last Drive-In.
Yeah.
But I mean, we haven't really gone too deep into it lately.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, that's enough faffing about with modern stuff. Let's stick with San Diego Comic-Con and talk about The Witcher.
Oh shit!
The Witcher, Geralt of Rivia.
Which, people should know. If you don't,
Yeah.
this is not adapting the video games. This is adapting the novels that the video games are a sequel to.
Yes. Are they a sequel or are they adaptation?
They are not they do not adapt any of the books. They actually pick up where the books left off.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't know where I heard that, but that's what I had heard when I was reading a thing about this series, is that the reason certain things look different,
Yeah.
the reason certain characters look different is because this is before the events of the game.
Okay.
Because the books don't cover the events that happen in the games.
So here's a question. We saw a still of Henry Cavill before, and
yeah.
everybody didn't like it. Now you've seen it motion
And dirtied up and
dirtied up and in motion. What do you think?
It looks all right.
I think he looks fine.
It looks like Geralt of Rivia.
I mean, there was going to be like some weird whiplash. It'd be like, whenever they make a movie that has a character in it that has been in another media,
Yeah.
it's always weird. Like if they made an Uncharted movie, even that Uncharted short that had Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake was still a little weird because like Nathan Drake has a face and a voice, and I've played hours of it. So this was a little weird, but I don't know. He's got the look.
He looks the part, and
appropriately grimy.
The stuff with Yennefer is interesting.
Yeah. They definitely. I mean, the one thing that I like about this trailer is they obviously put some money into this.
Yeah.
Like,
oh no, they want this to be the next Game of Thrones.
yeah. Which I mean,
Netflix is like, Game of Thrones is over. Here's the fucking Witcher. Get on board.
yeah. I mean, if Witcher is a dark, dirty universe with a lot of bad consequences that happen to good people, and lots of characters to talk about. So, if that's what we're doing, again, to me. It's always just such a hard thing for me to like, okay, let's say this turns out to be bad, right? I already have Netflix.
Yeah.
I'll watch one episode. I'm going to go, oh, it's not that good. And then you just stop watching. You
click it over to the Chef Show and watch Jon Favreau
You
make
could watch
meals
full
with various people.
Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. You can watch I was going to say Friends, but not going to be able to watch Friends very much longer.
No.
You can watch Parks and Recreation or, Agretsuko or The Defenders. Don't do that. But if it turns out to be not great, then that'll be a shame. But as I was just talking about with Marvel, it's not like there aren't a million things to watch or check out or play or look forward to, right? Like there's so many options for you to get your media entertainment that, I mean, I guess if you're a really big Witcher stan, you don't want this to go badly.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, there's also the question of okay, if this ends up being like an 8 and like an 8 or 9 season show with like 14 1-hour episodes per season, and they do a Witcher arc, like that's still not as many hours as like the game is it?
Oh,
I mean, it'd be
not.
close to it. It'd be like 80 hours, but like the Witcher game is
Witcher games.
Yeah, games. But even just like The Witcher 3 is just like massive.
Yeah.
The point where they're probably not. They're probably going. It's probably going to feel weirdly accelerated as opposed to the games because it just doesn't have enough much time to breathe. But that's fine. It's fine. I stopped playing The Witcher because it was so long, multiple times.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I'll give it a watch. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of it's weird. Like I played, what was it, The Witcher 2
Probably.
on Xbox?
Yep, that was
360.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I played The Witcher 2, and I was just like, I liked what was there, but I thought the controls were a little too convoluted and kind of just gave up.
It's really difficult early on in that game.
Yeah. Like I just couldn't get into the controls, and that's literally the reason I didn't play. And I just never played Witcher 3 because I was just like, you know what, I don't need this. I got other shit I gotta play.
Yeah.
And so if it, I look forward to this because it's the beginning. It's the earlier stuff. It's stuff before, and it's possible when I say that the games don't adapt the books. It's possible the games do adapt some stories from the books, but that just takes place after the main book series.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I have no idea. In any case, I'll give it a watch. I mean, I'll give it a couple of episodes, no matter what.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into some actual video game news. And this week, the first up, I always feel like I've got to put the stuff that's like the most controversial at the beginning because that's how you draw them in. So unfortunately, Nintendo's on the chopping block this week due to the drift problem on the Joy-Cons.
Yes.
Now this is a like a 3-act play because we've got a story and then we've got a second story that's like the end of this story. So to bring everybody up to speed, have you had this problem?
I have not.
I haven't had it either. But apparently, like the Joy-Cons will get to a point where the analog sticks basically are. They call it drifting, right? It's basically the game.
Basically, you're not touching the joystick, but
Right.
the joystick is sending a signal to the game, telling it that it's moving left.
Right. And so you can imagine that sucks. That's not a good.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing. So previously, Nintendo had a thing where the first time it happened, you could send in your Joy-Con and they would repair it and then send it back to you. But then apparently, subsequent, like if it broke a second time, you had to pay for it. Like you had to pay to send it in,
or if it was outside of the warranty, which I think we're now getting to the outside the warranty period.
I'm sure
for people like early adopters.
Right. So apparently last week, Ryan Diaz in Seattle, Washington, filed a suit against Nintendo, saying that they knew this was a thing, and that it happens on a high enough percentage of them that they're essentially selling faulty equipment and then charging you to fix the faulty equipment if you have multiple failures.
Yeah.
So yeah, this comes through. And then very shortly thereafter, and it's also worth noting that Nintendo hasn't ever really had a statement, I believe, about this. It's basically just treated as like a
their
rando
statement
hardware
was,
failure.
please contact our support help desk.
Right.
With this, and then it takes you to the same process of you having to send in your joystick or your Joy-Cons, and then they replace them.
Yes.
And if the problem happens again, you have to pay to replace it. Like it basically just sends you back to the whole thing that people are complaining about.
Right. But then the happy ending is that apparently last week also Nintendo changed their policy where they no longer charge for repairs, and all repairs are free, and they basically have instructed their support to just accept all returns
For this issue,
do the repair, send it back out, etc., etc. So it seems like Nintendo knew that this was potentially a problem, but maybe didn't. I don't know. What do you think? Do they think that they just were rolling the dice to see if they could just get away with it?
I don't know.
Not high enough failure rate to actually.
Yeah, I mean, if anything, I feel like they felt like it was probably going to be such a low number, and then that number ended up being probably bigger than they expected, even if it's still not a high percentage. Like, they probably thought it was only like, maybe only 5% of customers will experience, and it ended up being 10.
Right.
Like, it's still, 10% is still a low number of people, but...
Like, I don't know that nobody that I know that owns a Switch, I feel like I've ever heard of them having this issue. But then, you remember the DS had like the weird crack in the plastic that you would get
Yeah.
from opening up the screen. Like, stuff like this happens. But yeah, that's probably what it is. It's just that Fight Club failure analysis where they did the math about how much it would be to rework them versus how much it would be to just do replacements.
Yeah.
And they probably estimated on the low side, and then it ended up being higher. So good news. If your Joy-Con is messed up, you no longer have to pay to get it fixed.
Yeah.
I don't even know how much it was that they were charging, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it was like $15 or $20 per Joy-Con.
That's a little much. Yeah. So
I mean, also these Joy-Cons are like $80 to get a pair.
that's true. They are not cheap for some reason.
Yeah.
It's because I look at an HD rumble and IR sensors and all that kind of crazy shit they put in the controller. I mean, like an Xbox controller is like $50, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. In fact, I remember when I got the Pro controller.
Even the PlayStation 4 controllers are only like $50,
$60.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the Pro controller for the Switch was like 70 or 80. It was somewhere around there.
Yeah. And it's also fucked up because unlike in Japan, you can't buy a single Joy-Con.
Yeah.
You have to buy them as a pair. In Japan, you can just buy a single Joy-Con.
What?
Also, you can get them in all sorts of colors that are not available here in the States.
What?
Yeah.
Damn it, Japan. Come on. We like colors. We're Americans. Come on. So just further proof that I don't think Nintendo's a bad company, but I think it's worth reminding people from time to time that Nintendo is also not like a saintly beneficent company that does no wrong. They fuck up just like everybody
I know,
else.
Amanda was upset that they announced a special edition Switch, the Disney themed one, the Disney Some.
Oh yeah,
it's
I saw
Japan
that.
exclusive.
Yeah,
but it's got a control. It's got a purple controller and then
it's like a pink controller,
like a pinkish purple controller, but it's sort of purple as well, just not as dark. And Amanda's like, I want that, and I'm like, it's Japan exclusive, and she's like, son of a bitch.
Are you sure you can't go on to Amazon and just buy that shit from Japan? I mean,
But then you get a Japanese Switch. It's all in Japanese.
Right, but do they not sell the replacement controllers in purple in Japan? You could just order purple controllers from Japan.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if they work with all Switches or whatnot, and the cost to import them is probably high.
Yeah.
I have to talk to Matt next time he goes to Japan. Be like, here, buy us some Joy-Cons.
Yeah, there you go. Matt would be more than happy.
No, he wouldn't.
You get Matt $40. He'll buy you some.
Matt's going to Japan for other reasons.
I don't know. Matt brought me back a game that's in Japanese that I can't even play because I can't read Japanese. But
Okay.
it was back when Sarah was here and I wanted her to play the game with me to translate for me. But it's kind of a really dirty sex game, and you can't fault anybody for being like, I don't want to play a really dirty sex game with you, Jeff.
Yeah.
That's weird. Nah. Anyway, speaking of really dirty sex, let's head on over to the United Kingdom, where the chips are filthy and the sex is filthy. Anyway,
I would just like to know Jeff's comments do not reflect my beliefs on the United Kingdom. I think you people are nice.
yeah. Well, they can be nice and still have filthy sex. You don't think they have filthy sex?
I'm just saying.
I think everybody has filthy sex.
Okay.
I think everybody everywhere in the world there's some percent, 25% of the people in every country in the world are doing something dirty. I mean,
Okay.
that's all I'm saying.
All right.
At the minimum. Probably more. Probably closer to 75. But
Okay.
anyway, UK Gambling Commission this week came out and said loot boxes are not gambling once again.
Okay. Well, good or bad on you? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about this anymore.
Yeah. Well, just because it's every goddamn week of your goddamn life that you're reading something about loot boxes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, there was in this week they talked about how the main way that they designate this is they count them more as like a lottery than gambling because there's not a company sponsored way to remove your winnings from the system.
Yeah.
Right. We've heard this a lot before. Where basically.
Because you can't cash out. It's not. You don't. There's no monetary benefit for you to do this.
Right. Like if I put money into Grand Theft Auto and go to the new casino that they opened, right?
Yeah.
And spend it and make a lot more money. There's no way for me to cash out that money out of the system.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I feel like it doesn't really address the reason that people gamble. Is that people that have difficulty with gambling don't gamble because they don't do it to get money. They do it to get the rush of winning in a gambling.
Well, I mean, I see your point, and I agree with you, but I also do feel like the rush of winning money is also part of it.
Yeah.
It's so. I mean, but I get what you're saying. I agree with you. I'm just saying I do feel like getting money and leaving with that money is part of that rush.
Sure. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't known that many gambling addicts, but I feel like I've read stuff before about gambling addicts who, they get up $10,000 in Vegas and then just dump it all away. Like they never can walk away because it's more of a compulsion of trying to win than it is.
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess it's just whether you frame it as it depends on how you're framing it. It seems like this particular the way that this is being framed is that the reason that people gamble is to make money. But
okay,
that's just me. In any case, this is just a note of something that happened this week. Keep everybody up on the loot box front. Speaking of that Grand Theft Auto casino, apparently there are some countries where you can't actually gamble in that Grand Theft Auto casino.
I've seen that.
There's a few different places. Most notably, what are the ones that people are still trying to kind of figure it out? Iceland, Iran, Peru, and Vietnam, amongst a few others. Where when you try, you can go in, you can buy the penthouse in there, you can interact with
walk
other players.
around in the casino, but the second you try to go to a table to play, it gives you an error that says this feature is not available for you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird, and apparently there's not like a list, right? There's not like information like the Grand Theft Auto Online community is trying to kind of suss it out. I don't know. That's just interesting to me. I think it's really interesting of Grand Theft Auto to open up a straight up casino inside of a video game. I don't know. I guess it would be different if I actually played Grand Theft Auto Online.
Yeah.
But I don't. All right. From there, we got some Stadia news this week.
No.
Yep. Speaking of gambling, speaking of putting some money into a thing and not knowing whether you're going to get a payout, so there was a Reddit AMA that happened with Stadia's director of product, Andriy Doronichev, who said, where they basically asked, somebody was asking, okay, so let's say that I buy games for Stadia and then you guys shut down Stadia, what happens to my games? And the answer was kind of all over the place and a little condescending too. This was in an AMA, so I feel like it was just typed, right?
Yeah.
But it was
AMAs are typed generally, and also I kind of, without even knowing what you're going to say, I already know what you're going to say.
All right, well then let's read it. Let's read the quote and see how right John is. Quote, I hear you. Moving to the cloud is scary. I felt the same way when music was transitioning from files to streaming. I still have all my old CDs in the garage, although it's hard to find a CD player these days. The same thing happened to movies and photos and my docs and other files, and it's great. Games are no different. Eventually all our games will be safely in the cloud, and we'll feel great about it. We've been investing in a ton of tech, infrastructure, and partnerships over the past few years. Nothing in life is certain, but we're committed to making Stadia a success. Of course, it's okay to doubt my words. There's nothing I can say now to make you believe if you don't. But what we can do is to launch the service and continue investing in it for years to come. Exactly how we've been doing with Gmail, docs, music, movies, and photos. That's exactly what we're committed to. So, I feel like...
well, first of all, if you thought you were actually going to get a straight answer, the answer is you're joking yourself, because here's the fun fact. With these type of services, you're not actually buying the game. You're buying the license to play the game through that service.
Sure.
And unfortunately, if that license ends or if that company shuts down, you no longer have that game. I'm sorry.
Yep.
That's the way it is.
Yep.
I mean, truthfully, here's the funny thing. Hypothetically, if Steam were to file for bankruptcy and shut down tomorrow, all those games that you access through Steam, you're never going to be able to access again. Sorry, it's the truth. But they don't want to say that. They're not going to say that.
Sure.
Because that's only going to put a bad spin on it.
Right.
They want the best spin, which is we're dedicated to making this the best service and keeping this service around forever and making sure the technology's there so that it doesn't shut down. And that's clearly where the industry is going. So why would you even not expect this?
Well, it's a weird. It also brings up a really weird question, which is that let's say that Google did have some kind of redundancy thing that, like, well, it turns out that if Google Stadia, let's say that there was magically the answer that this person, that the people that are concerned about this were looking for, right? If Google Stadia shuts down, those games will all still be available for you to download onto your computer and play on your computer. Well, then the next question is, well, then why would I even stream them in the first place, right? Like, if I could just download them onto a system and then use them on a system, then that kind of invalidates the whole selling point of Stadia, which is that you don't have to have a system, right? Like, you can just stream it through whatever.
When you buy it through Stadia, if I'm not mistaken, you don't have the option to download.
No. But what I'm saying is that, like the answer that would mollify those people also destroys the business model of Stadia, right? Like, if Stadia is just another Steam client where you can stream it, but you can also download it, that's not what they want. They want you to stream it. They don't want you to download it. They're investing in all this bullshit to get you to stream it. So if it turns out that there's a way for you to download it, then people say, well, then this is just Steam. This is just another version of Steam where I can stream it, but I could also download it. It's a PlayStation 4, where you have PlayStation Now, but then you can also download it. So I feel like that would fuck their whole thing up. The main thing that the main thing that gets to me is the whole, like, we're dedicated to doing this the same way we are with Gmail and Docs and blah 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 blah, but like they don't mention all of the Google services that Google has tried to launch and then like
failed
and then just let drift off and then
like
turned
Google
off the servers.
Plus, Google Wave,
Plus, Hangouts. Wait, is Hangout still a thing? I don't remember. There have been a lot over the years that they have gone through, that they have launched a thing, it hasn't worked, and then boom. It's just, the thing is that most of the time, Google Plus was like your Facebook alternative, so you didn't spend money on Google Plus. But the Stadia, like the Founders Pack is $100, and then you're expected to pay $60 a game, like full retail price per game that you buy. The only way I can see it really working, like the only way that I would be interested in that service would be to get it and then get like the UB Play Plus, whatever the hell their thing is called. Where we said in the last podcast, like $15 a month is a bit much for that, but at least with $15 a month, I can try Stadia out and see, instead of spending by the time this video comes out, it'll already be out, but Wolfenstein is coming out this week, right? So if I had a choice about where to buy Wolfenstein, I probably wouldn't spring for it on Stadia if Stadia was a thing first, because I already have things to be able to play it.
So
on,
and again, it also another thing that people kind of don't forget, and this is not me. This is me kind of being a little bit of a negative Nancy, but also as someone who, you also got to remember, you technically don't own the games you bought digitally through Microsoft or through Sony.
Yep,
like
100%.
If the Sony shuts down the store for the PlayStation 3, all those PlayStation 3 games you downloaded digitally, you don't have access to them anymore if you delete them off your PlayStation 3, guess what? They're gone.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. I mean, that's even Nintendo. Like, they shut down.
Terrible at it.
Yeah.
With the DS store where you download stuff and you couldn't even like re-download it.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah.
So I mean, it's kind of one of those things that this is no different, but they're not going to point out those facts because they don't want you to think about it.
Sure.
Because they don't want you to have to worry about it. They want you to think their service is going to be good. They want you to think that their service is going to be up forever, and they want you to sign up for it because they want you to think that this is what you need, and they want you to purchase it through them. And then one day, if they lose the license to a game and can no longer offer it, well,
yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, that does happen. That happens on Game Pass, right?
Yeah.
Game Pass does take games off.
Oh, yeah. No, they do.
And, like, I'm pretty sure that I still am not entirely clear if I cancel Sony or PlayStation Plus, do I lose all the games?
Yes. If you cancel your PlayStation Plus account, you will no longer be able to access any game that you got through their PlayStation Plus for free.
Okay. What about the ones that I got a discount on?
No, you get those. You keep those.
Okay.
Anything you paid actual additional money for, you keep.
Yeah.
The only difference is like Microsoft, for example, those games, they just said you keep them even if you cancel your Xbox Gold, you still get to keep those games.
Oh, okay.
They actually made a bit. That was like one of their selling points. Where like, unlike the PlayStation Plus, if you cancel your Gold, you still get to keep the games you got through Gold.
Yeah.
Because that's just the way it is. But
I don't know. And we still don't really know whether it works if your internet's slightly crappy, right? Like if your internet is slightly crappy, does it work? So a lot of I don't know. Seems like a hard sell, right? Like maybe, but still seems like a bit of a hard sell. Tell you what else is a hard sell, John. That's Fallout 76. Wouldn't be a Rage Like podcast. That's Fallout 76 news.
is this literally everything? All we're going to talk about every week, like Fallout 76, something new?
In loot boxes, yeah.
Okay,
Pretty much.
What's all right? Let's go. What's the thing?
Okay, so Fallout 76 had.
What did they do this time?
Okay, so they got the Real World store. They got the Atom store, right? That you buy stuff on.
Hey, yeah.
And then this was actually a little while back. They a little while back they put repair kits on the Atom store. So while you were in the field, you could use these kits to repair your equipment without having to go back to your base and do it at a weapon table or whatever there. When they originally launched, they said they were not going to put anything like the Atom store would just be cosmetic. It was just going to be cosmetic purchases
Repair
for cosmetic.
kits would not be part of it.
Right. Repair kits are part of it. Well, last week they also put a new thing on it called a scrap kit, where you can basically use it to break down items in your inventory into individual components that you can carry around more easily. So it's not a big deal. It's just kind of a whole other thing. Like it's just the creeping, sliding, like, I mean, repair kits, that's not a big thing. Let's look, scrap kits, oh, that's not a big thing. I mean, we all know where this is going, right?
Yeah, this one is health packs and revive tokens.
Oh, this isn't a health pack. It makes your health regeneration slightly higher than before, and then eventually you're just going to go in there and pay $50 for power armor, and then go kill everybody in PvP or whatever.
Yeah.
That's just what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. I mean, apparently inventory management in Fallout's still a really big thing, so having something that can, you're picking up all these disparate objects in the world and then breaking them down into like 4 or 5 different types of materials. Usually have to do that at a workbench, at a base somewhere. Yeah. So being able to just do it in the field is incredibly useful. Once again, adding something that is useful for real money, which is kind of the whole point. So,
yeah.
Is anybody listening to this playing Fallout 76? Anybody?
I don't know.
Anybody playing Fallout 76?
Comment.
Yeah.
Go to the website. Comment.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Subscribe. Smash the bell.
No, I'm just saying. Just like comment. Tell us. Do you play Fallout 76? I don't. Do you? I don't.
When you say comment, all that happens is I just say. Well, also you have to say like and subscribe. You can't just say comment.
No, you can.
No,
it's very easy.
Okay.
Watch.
Okay.
Comment.
Like and subscribe.
No,
Smash that
shut
bell.
up. Shut up.
You forgot the other part of it.
No.
Speaking of things that I hit the like button and subscribe to, Hideo Kojima, at San Diego Comic-Con, they revealed the box art for Death Stranding, which, is not very much of a story.
It's box art.
Norman Reedus. There's also Steelbook 1.
No.
Dirty Norman Reedus.
Oh. A dirty little bastard.
But I tell you what, that was only the aperitif, because that was the bad story, but there was a good story.
Wait.
I don't know if you read the good story, or kind of a weird story, where apparently so Heartman, right, in Death Stranding, is played by Nicholas Refn, the guy who wrote Drive, I believe.
Yes.
And apparently when they were getting ready, Nicholas Refn said to Hideo Kojima, you should get Keanu Reeves to be the main character in Death Stranding. And Hideo Kojima was like, "Nah, I want Norman Reedus." But there were several seconds in this multiverse, John, when Hideo Kojima had to consider whether or not to put Keanu Reeves in Death Stranding. I don't know why it tickles me so much, but the idea of playing a Hideo Kojima game that has Keanu Reeves in it kind of just pushes a lot of my nerd buttons. I don't know why. But yeah, apparently that was briefly a thing. So we almost got Keanu in Death Stranding.
Okay.
Does that mean that then if Keanu was in Death Stranding, then Norman Reedus would have been in Cyberpunk?
Probably not.
No?
Yeah.
Keanu in Cyberpunk as well?
Yeah, probably just a lot of Keanu. All
And
over
John
the
Wick
place.
Hex?
Yeah.
John Wick is in every video game.
Yeah.
So,
Fortnite.
Oh, yeah. So what's his name? Blade is going to be the guy in every single Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And every movie.
Yeah.
And then Keanu Reeves will just be every video game character.
Yeah.
Is there a mod for Skyrim where I can make every video game character Keanu Reeves?
Maybe.
I will do that. Like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me about them.
Stop that.
Just comment. Only comment. And then also like and subscribe. And tell me if there's a mod to make Keanu Reeves into every character in Skyrim. And if there's not, then, send me an email and let's get on that shit, because I feel like the internet would dig. And if we had all the different Keanus, right? All the kids could be like Theodore,
Young Ted.
yeah, like Ted, and then we'll have different Keanus. We'll have Neo.
All
Keanus.
the mages will be Neo.
Yep, and then all the we have John Wick, and I mean, there's enough Keanu. We can spread that,
And
spread
all
around.
the cat people could look like Keanu from the Key and Peele movie. Keanu.
Yes. All the Khajiits are Keanu from Yes. I never saw that movie.
Neither did I.
Never saw that movie. Anyway, next up, let's talk about Overwatch. It's a real stock standard week here. It's like, hey, we got some loot boxes, we got some Fallout 76. Let's talk about Keanu Reeves. On to Overwatch. I feel like I've been living this podcast since 2017, but we got a new character in Overwatch.
Yeah, Sigma. Doesn't wear shoes.
Yeah, that's a thing.
It's weird.
Apparently,
Put your shoes on.
He's a science man. He's a science.
Yeah, so
He's a gravity science?
he was researching black holes. Clearly something went wrong and his mind was fractured and he turned evil and joined Talon.
Okay, he's a tank.
Yeah.
Who has? I was looking over his thing. He has a few different things where he's got these two little gravity balls that are kind of like grenades that he can throw. He's got a shield that presses forward that you can kind of put into place. He can pull rocks up out of the ground and throw it at people.
I will say this little story trailer actually was really good at conveying horror.
Yeah,
And it kind of surprised me that
this kind of weird multiverse split personality.
Yeah, it's like a
Cloverfield
very
paradox.
Yeah, I dug it.
Yeah, I did too. I kind of wish they would just
Make a cartoon.
When was
Make
the
an
last time they
animated
made
movie.
one of those? When was the last time they made one of the big ones?
No, the last one was I think when Ash came out.
Was that okay? But that was like 2 characters ago, right? Because we got.
Yeah, we just didn't get
Sigma
one.
and-
Or did we get one for Baptiste? I don't remember.
I think there was one of these. One of the motion
Yeah, I know there was
comics
one of these,
for
but I don't
Baptiste.
know if there was a live action one.
I do not believe so. I feel like that would have come up on my radar. Apparently, the big thing though is his ult.
Oh, yeah?
Where it raises everybody on the other team up in the air, and then they fall to the ground and lose half their
wow.
health, like in an area.
Yeah.
Which apparently has been used to great effect in a few different places. So, there's one. There were some GIFs. This is somebody playing as McCree, and the entire enemy team is behind Reinhardt's shield, and he used his ult, and it lifts them all up, and he just high noons all 5 of the other team that are standing behind him at the same time. There's been some interesting stuff going on with apparently using it in creative ways to pull people out of situations and dislodge people that are on a point, right? As you just lift them all up in the air briefly. So it seems interesting. But yes, as you did mention, the main story seems to be he's okay. So for anybody who hasn't seen this guy, he's wearing a full suit of Overwatch armor, right?
Yeah, he's got these giant fucking shoulder pads.
Yeah, he's got his face is out, but then his feet just his feet are bare.
Well, it's weird because someone then pointed out that everyone who's a member of Talon has really fucking weird looking shoes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, everybody's shoes are just weird. That's part of Talon.
what's wrong with Doomfist shoes?
Like they're like weird robotic sandals.
Okay.
Looking, yeah, it's just weird.
Robo sandals.
Yeah,
it's
and then this guy's just like, fuck it, I'm not gonna even wear shoes. How weird is that, motherfuckers?
Well, it's striking because every other inch of his entire body is covered in like armor and clothing, and then his just feet are just hanging out the bottom. Apparently, there was a thing where one of the artists was like, they wanted to do that to kind of convey. I think what he said was like, quote unquote, the asylum look, that like he's a crazy person. It's like, well, I mean, okay, kind of, but like the rest of him looks like Dr. Doom, right? Like, he doesn't, he looks like Dr. Doom. He looks like he forgot to put his shoes on before he left for battle.
Yeah.
That's what he looks like. I don't know. Maybe he's got like athlete's foot and he wants to get that shit aired out in the battlefield. I feel like there should be an actual story reason and not just like,
no, I mean, I'm okay with that.
I wanted him to look crazy.
Yeah, it's just fucking weird.
Also, I know a lot of people just hate feet.
Yeah.
Like I've known a lot of people in my lifetime who just kind of like think that bare feet are gross. So
yeah, I'm not one of those people, but I just thought it was a weird choice. Like it's very like it's such a weird thing that the way his character design is that the fact that he's not wearing shoes pops.
Yeah.
Like more than I feel like it should.
Yeah.
Like it's extremely noticeable.
Yeah.
And it's just weird.
Yeah. But
that's the horror because then you're running around and people could step on his feet. And crush his
does
toes.
he float?
Maybe. I don't know.
Is that why he doesn't have shoes on? Because he doesn't have to actually stand on the ground. He's just floating around all the time.
Maybe.
Gravity powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's on the PTR right now, and then be moving into the game really soon.
Yeah. Sometime in the next week or so.
Yep. So you'll be able to play that pretty soon. You won't be able to play it pretty soon, but pretty soon we're going to know about the new main character for the next Yakuza game.
Yes.
They announced that they are going to, on August 29th, they're going to be having a reveal in Japan with the new character who was already in the mobile game.
Yes.
And then he was also part of their April Fool's joke that the next Yakuza will be a turn-based combat system.
Yes.
So yeah, this is the new guy. His name is Kasuga because Kiryu Kazama's out.
He's gone.
He's done.
He left.
I mean, I'm sure that he may make an appearance someday, but
it was actually interesting. I actually didn't. I was caught off guard when they actually referenced Kiryu Kazama in Judgment.
Oh, is that the one where it's like you hit a guy into a car and he hits the car, and then the car opens up and it's like two Kiryu's dudes that just like put him in and drive off with him?
No. Like you're talking to like one of the heads of one of the Yakuza families, and he's like, this wouldn't have happened if Kiryu Yakuza or Kazama hadn't left, if he was still with us.
Yeah,
still helping to run things. That none of this would have happened, and things would be a lot better.
Yeah, I like Kiryu a lot, and I like Yakuza games a lot. I'm glad that we're moving away from him.
I am too,
because he's kind of an invincible bat. I mean, like, it was one thing when we were on Yakuza 3, but by the time you get to Yakuza 6, which is technically Yakuza 7 because there's a Yakuza 0, this motherfucker's been kicking ass for far too long for anybody not to know who he is. Like, if you're in that prefecture, like
Yakuza 6 is weird because like didn't he like also spend like 10 years in prison?
Yeah. He also spends a lot of time in like this fishing town, like with a baby, just hanging out with a baby.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. I like Kiryu Kazama is a great character. I like him.
Yeah.
I'm glad that he got a whole series of games and then got to essentially leave at the end of that last game.
I like that they're doing a new character. I like that we're going to find out more soon. I'm interested.
Yep.
I also I really hope the idea of them doing something like Judgment, like in between Yakuza games. Well, even if it's not another game, not another Judgment game, but if it's maybe another game that takes place in that world from the point of view of someone who's not Yakuza.
Sure.
I think that's also interesting. Like I would love that. I would love more of that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Judgment was such a breath of fresh air.
Oh man, I'm still playing it. I love it.
I haven't been able to devote the time to sit down and dig it, dig into it. So yeah, you'll be able to find out more about that. I'm sure that we'll be talking about it in August.
Yeah.
However, you will not be able to find out anything about Street Fighter 6 at EVO, which apparently was a thing that people were thinking was going to happen. And then the developer said we're just concentrating on making Street Fighter 5 the best game it can be, which I thought it seemed a little premature. Maybe I'm Street Fighter 5 is 3 years old. Like, I feel like Street Fighter usually goes longer between individual numbered entries.
Sometimes.
Yeah, it just seems early to me for Street Fighter 6.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. We need at least, Super Street Fighter 6, Ultra, Super Ultra.
Well, no, they're already on like Championship Edition or whatever for 5, because then they added in the story, they added in the new characters, and they re-released it with the new characters and all that stuff added in.
But I'm just saying they need like 6 more words tacked onto it.
Oh yeah, sure.
So it's like, even if it's just Street Fighter 5 Championship, it needs to be Super, Ultra, Turbo, Excellent, EX, Street Fighter 5 Championship Edition. Here comes the new challengers.
Yeah. I'm with you on that.
They still need 12 more things.
I've been surprised at how completely I've lost interest in Street Fighter over this between 4 and 5.
Yeah,
they've just I don't care.
Oh no, I loved 4. 5 kind of killed it for me though.
Well, I'll tell you what's killing it for me is the possibility of getting a new Xbox One home screen update.
I saw this news and I was like, well, I'm going to hear about this from Jeff.
Yep. John and I have gotten into it a little bit about this particular topic. I am not a big fan of the Xbox's interface.
And I'm okay with that.
Yes. And apparently they're testing out some new stuff. It doesn't look like it's all that dramatically different.
No, it does change something that you complained about.
Yes,
which is
the games,
the ads thing, where it's just where they're pushing Game Pass and other stuff is now in a separate bar than where the recently played games are.
But I thought that's what this was. What this Discover thing is.
Yeah, that's what the ads thing is.
Oh,
and then the recently played is above it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, at least it puts recently played right up front.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm just saying that was one of the things that you complained about.
Definitely, yes. I don't like the fact that, so...
Because currently it's like...
You have to go to your game library to, launch a thing or, pin it to the start menu. So it's like you either permanently put a game on the front page, or you have to go into this list
unless
and then go
it's
down
recently been played, in which there's going to be an option there for it.
Okay. I don't know.
The way it currently is, the 3 most recent applications that you've launched on your, which includes games.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's the 3 most recent. There's the main button, which shows you what you played last.
Yeah.
And then it shows the next 2 things, and then it's a bunch of ads next to it.
Yeah.
It's more of recent. Instead of the most recent 3, it's 6.
I'm glad. I like that. I like to be able to get quick access to it. So apparently that's in what is it? They're there's kind of program that Xbox does. It's their insider program.
Yeah, the insider program.
That's out there right now. They're looking at changing it around and stuff. All I really want out of a game UI is when I start it up, I want to be able to access my games as quickly as humanly possible without going through a lot of other things.
Yeah.
So on the Switch and on the PlayStation, I feel like all I have to do is press the right button one time or left button. So yeah, I like it. Boy, we got to move this along.
Moving right along.
So part of San Diego Comic-Con was that people got to see that Avengers
they got to see a lot more of it.
Yes.
And
there's actually some leaks. I think I looked at some leaked footage, but it's all bad and it's not framed
I didn't see any footage. I didn't watch
it looks better than what they showed at E3. The actual gameplay footage looks better than what they showed at E3. Unfortunately, they're doing this fucking dick move, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Where yes, they will be releasing that at Gamescom. So even though, and it's got to just be to make it so that going to San Diego Comic-Con gets you something exclusive. That even though that idea is so stupid in my opinion. Like most of that stuff, it's like there's news that doesn't leak, and
Yeah. Also, there was a so apparently the game, like one of the big things that came out of it is apparently the game is narrated by a female character.
Okay.
Who has not been announced. But everyone has guessed who it is based on the narration and one of the cutscenes.
Okay. Squirrel Girl.
No, it's Ms. Marvel.
Okay.
It's Kamala Khan.
Okay.
So because she talks about, I always wanted to meet my heroes, but then blah 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 blah, this thing happened, and then like as the city's blowing up because of the thing that's happening,
right?
It shows a family, basically a family of people running, and the parents die, and a girl then gets blasted by this green mist, and then like it cuts to like 5 years later.
Okay.
And so everyone's like, well, there's Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
But they didn't like show her, but she still was narrating after the 5 years later thing. So everyone's like, yeah, Miss Marvel's in this game. They just haven't announced it, but they pretty much just gave it away.
Okay. I've been surprised at the number of characters that I don't recognize from. She is a character that I'm not familiar with.
She's a more recent character.
She's in Ultimate Alliance, right?
Yes.
Which I've been playing a lot of. So it's been odd.
She is a fangirl, which I love. Like in a world of superheroes, she writes fan fiction about superheroes on the internet. She is a nerd, but she's also like a science geek as well.
Okay.
So she's but she happens to be an Inhuman. And her biggest idol was Ms. Marvel. Well, Ms. Marvel became Captain Marvel, and through the course of events, she accidentally took on the Miss Marvel moniker.
Okay.
And then Miss Marvel just said, you know what? You can have it. I'm Captain Marvel now, so you're good.
Okay.
And so she was just like, all right, cool. And then she's a great character. Her comic is amazing, and everyone should read it. It's really good.
Okay, cool. Well, it's funny because I know just about everybody in Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah.
But then there's like Elsa Bloodstone.
Elsa Bloodstone's great. You know what comic you would like that she is in?
No.
And they actually based most of her character design and personality from Next Wave, Agents of Hate.
Okay.
Which is a Warren Ellis book.
Oh, I like Warren Ellis.
Yes, and you would totally like. It's a comedy book. It's making fun of.
Oh,
yeah. It's
Agents of Shield. It's making fun of Agents of Hate.
Yeah,
I gotta look up Next Wave. Agents of Hate.
The leader of Agents of Hate of Organization Hate, and it's an acronym like Shield, is Dirk Anger.
That's the most Warren Ellis name I've ever heard.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's fucking great. You'll love it. Just go look that up.
I gotta check out this Agents of Hate.
Called Next Wave.
But it's funny because I don't think I would have been as familiar with Spider-Gwen or Miles Morales without watching Spider-Verse. And then other than that, it's like I got everybody. Like everybody else, I get who they are, except for like Ms. Marvel was one of them where I'm like, I kind of knew a little bit, and then like Elsa Bloodstone. Everybody else, I'm like, oh, I know who Doctor Strange is. I know who Black Panther is. Anyway, let's wrap this up. We got a trailer for Fantasy Strike. It's coming out on the PlayStation 4 this week.
Okay.
That's another one of those fighting games where basically there's just some attack buttons and then some buttons that do special attacks, so you don't have to like learn how to do a bunch of quarter circle fireballs.
Yeah.
Very colorful. Looks really good. I want to get access to it at some point because I'm a big fan. I really liked that robot one that we played. I actually played that.
Yeah.
And it was like only online competitive, and I actually played it on my own online, not for the show, which should tell you something. But this one is a much more kind of like super colorful, kind of weird medieval fantasy thing going on.
There's pandas and
it's like there's this one lady that has a paintbrush, and all of her attacks are giant rainbows, and I think it's kind of cool looking. So, we got a trailer for that. There wasn't very much else out in trailers, so we're just gonna wrap it up here. Apparently, so the new Genova Chen game, who's the Journey, Flower, Flow, all those, which is called Sky Children of Light, came out on iOS just recently, I believe. In an interview, basically, he said that they would like to bring it to consoles, which is good because I don't have an Apple phone. And I would like to play. I like that guy's games. I'd like to play the next That Game Company game, and I'm not going to buy an iPhone to do it. So probably not anytime soon, and probably it's not going to be free to play, but sometime. But there are plans in the future to make that game available not on a cell phone.
Okay.
Good Good. Thumbs up.
I agree.
MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, which has been in development for fucking ever, has been pushed back from September until December. Also, it's going to be an Epic Game Store exclusive. So,
Sure.
there you
Whatever.
go. There you go. Yeah. I don't know. Is anybody still playing MechWarrior?
I mean, it's not out yet, so how can I play it?
I mean, what was the last? There was the one that the Shadowrun guys made,
Oh,
the Hairbrain
yeah,
Schemes.
yeah.
That was on Steam.
Yeah, I know. I
It
didn't
was
play
like
that one.
really technical, and I think that's all MechWarrior games, though, right? They're all super technical and hard to play. I don't know. Speaking of Epic Game Store, apparently next month you can get Alan Wake or For Honor for free on the Epic Game Store.
Oh, nice.
So, and that's not like a PlayStation Plus. That's just go hit the give me that game free, and you can play it. If you've not played For Honor or Alan Wake, I would actually recommend both of those games.
Yeah, they're both really great.
And For Honor may or may not, but whatever.
Alan Wake is probably one of my favorite games of all time.
Oh, do you like Alan Wake, John?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
I know.
I had no idea.
We're getting close to October. I'm going to have to do my yearly playthrough of it again.
Well, maybe you'll get cut off because Control just went gold.
Yes, it did.
So we're going to be getting that pretty soon. I couldn't be more excited for Control.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to Control.
That one's like way the hell up on my list.
Comes out next month?
It's
August?
soon, yeah.
August or September?
Very soon.
Maybe September. I don't remember.
Yeah. Also, Sega has apparently filed a trademark for, what is this? Knight's what? God damn it! Knight's Dream Wheel.
Okay.
So we're not sure if that may or may not be
So
a
Knight's
new
Kart Racer.
Knight. They fly in that game, right? They don't need
Kart Racer.
Okay, Kart Racer. I've always been interested in Knights, but I never had a chance to play it when it came out.
Yeah.
The idea when it came out that you could fly in a video game and just fly wherever, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And then I never was able. That was a Dreamcast game.
It was originally a Sega Saturn
game. And
Yeah,
then when I got
one Sega console no one bought.
when I got a chance in the future to finally play it, I was like, oh, this sucks. But apparently they put it out then on PS2 and the what else? Xbox
Well, I want to say there was a Wii
360
game.
PC.
Yeah, there was
and
an
then there was a
Xbox
Wii
360.
sequel.
Yeah.
So,
Journey into Dreams.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe we'll get some more of that weird clown man. Here's a few. Okay. All right.
Did you lose your spot?
I lost it for a second there. A couple quick fun things. Okay, so apparently there was some new information that came out about Bloodstained.
Yeah.
That I actually thought was amazing. Where when they were making the bosses for Bloodstained, apparently the rule around the office was that if you made a boss, you had to demonstrate that you could beat that boss with just a dagger and never get hit. That like in order for a boss to make it into the game, like you as the developer had to be able to beat it with like the dinkiest weapon in the game and without getting hit one time.
Wow.
And that apparently allowed them to just do some tuning, right? Like because if you, the person that built this, can't beat it perfectly, then like no, we're not going to put it in the game. Which is an interesting design philosophy. And last but certainly not least, you know how Keanu Reeves is in everything?
Yes.
Well, there was like a weird like screenshot that was made for like a fake NES John Wick game.
Yes.
And then a couple of guys went and actually just made it into like a full-on video game that you can download off the internet. It's a little bit, it reminds me of what an NES like adaptation for John Wick would be because it's like got him shooting rocket launcher guys and helicopters.
Yeah,
and all
I
this
feel
shit.
like that they took that to heart. They were like, okay, if this was an actual game that got made, what would it be? Like, what would it look like? And they were just like, yeah.
This is what it would look like.
At some point, he would be shooting at a helicopter. At some point, he would.
There's like weird mech guys everywhere. Anyway, you can go download that for free. So if you don't have enough Keanu Reeves in your life, go download this John Wick game. With that, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to answer some questions. So everybody stick around and do it. Answer some questions.
I'm always ready.
Damn right. Mail@rageselect.com is the email address. Our first question this week comes in from Craig. Craig says, hey, Jeff and John, I think he's talking to me specifically. You mentioned a liking for Warhammer 40K and the novels before, so I was wondering what you and John's reaction was to the announcement of a 40K TV show now being in early development. Then he provides a link with some details. Thanks muchly, and keep on raging. That's from Craig. What are your 40K thoughts, John?
I've never really, like, outside of what we've played on the site that's been 40K, which is not much.
No.
I think there was like a chess style game that took place in the Warhammer universe that you and I played on Super Awesome Video Game Show.
Yep.
That I actually really enjoyed.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I've never really been a 40K person. I don't hate it. I've never gotten into it.
Yeah, I like it, and I've read a couple of novels. Like, I'm definitely not like as deep into it as I am into other stuff. I kind of feel like it. Like, okay, so last week I was on I think it was on Facebook, right? And Facebook has like these little recommendations about like where to go, and one of them was like a 40K page. And I went to it and I was just looking through it. It's like memes, right? Mostly just like, because Warhammer 40K, the people that like it, it's very memeable with the different factions.
Yeah.
I started to wonder how it was going to, like, okay, all right, John, I'm not trying to wander off into like current events or politics or whatever, because this is just what this is. It has nothing to do with what's happening in the current day, right? But Warhammer 40K is a relatively fascist, like the sociology of what's going on in there is relatively like fascist. Like, it also has a lot of weird things where you talk about the exterminatus, like destroying entire planets. You talk about the Inquisition and heresy that comes from chaos. Like, there's a lot of weird shit going on in 40K, and I'm like, I don't know how well that would translate into a thing. I mean, like, I laugh when I play the Warhammer 40K game and you click on them and they say, what, like, exterminate the heretic, kill the Xeno, all glory to the Emperor of mankind, that kind of stuff, because it's all done in this kind of earnest way and it's part of this fictitious universe. But I just don't know how well it would translate into an actual show. Like there's not people in the Warhammer 40K universe, it seems like, that are not just, there are people that are living their lives, but most people are fighting wars with horrible aliens or horrible corrupt space marines, and there's like a god emperor, and like, I don't know, it's a little strange. I mean, I like the big guys with the shoulder pads and the machine guns. I like the ultramarines, they're all blue and shit, like aquamarine ultramarines. They're not aquamarine, but I don't know, I feel like it could be good, but I feel like they've also tried to do Warhammer 40K. They've been trying so hard for years to break 40K into like the mainstream. Yeah. And I just don't know that it is a thing that you put in the mainstream. Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of like that weird science horror with all the chaos stuff. I don't know. It's strange. I would be surprised if they managed to make something. You know where it would belong is in a place like that, Love, Death, and Robots, like that style of like kind of heavy metal liquid television.
It's not one continuous story, but a bunch of vignettes that all take place in the same universe.
Yeah, that would actually work really well. I was thinking more of like just the tone of how that Love, Death, and Robots has that real just kind of like, it's blood and guts and swearing and look at these titties, and I feel like it would fit in really well in there, even though I don't feel like there's as many boobs in the 40K universe. But I don't know. I would be interested in seeing it, but it also is like one of those properties that I just feel has been trying to break out of. It's like Shadowrun, right? Yeah. Where like it's been kind of trying to break out of this niche status for decades now, and I just don't know if that's the sort of thing that I don't know if the world's ready for a mainstream 40K. It needs to be a niche thing. It needs to be like a niche thing for niche, but. Also, I mean, Craig, here's the thing. My policy is if it's good, I'll watch it. And if it's bad, I won't watch it. So if they make a show and I watch the first episode and it's not good, then I will stop watching it. And if it's good, I will continue to watch it.
My philosophy is if they release a show and it's on a platform I can actually watch it on, that I already own, that I don't have to pay extra money for, I will watch it as well. And if it's good, I will keep watching it. If it's bad, I will be like, well, I'll just go back to ignoring Warhammer.
Are you going to get Disney?
Probably.
Yeah.
Most likely because, they are going to have a Muppet show on it and a bunch of other stuff. And Amanda's already said that she's paying for it, so.
Okay. That was cheap, though, right? Like, it's going to be cheap to start with? It's like $7 a month or something like that?
I don't know.
I'm thinking about canceling my Amazon Video Prime. Well, no, that just comes. I think I got too many. I feel like I'm not watching half the shit that's out there right now.
I still need to watch Veronica Mars.
Yeah.
That came out.
Yeah. I still need to watch Good Omens. And then The Boys is coming out before the end of the month.
I'm actually not looking forward to The Boys.
I feel like you wouldn't be.
Like, I read that comic, and that comic was cute for all of, 2 volumes.
Yeah.
And then kind of outwore its welcome with me.
Okay.
I was like, there's only so much I can take of Garth Ennis's let's be vulgar and violent for vulgarity and violence sake.
Mm-hmm.
Like I also feel like with that, because the thing he would constantly tell in interviews is that he was gonna out preacher, and the thing is, he was like, yeah, I know Preacher's has these outlandish and violent and vulgar things happening, and I'm like, but no, there's a really good story there too. It's not just vulgar for vulgar's sake. There's there are moments of it, but there's a large portion of Preacher that's actually just really well told storytelling.
Yeah,
and
I think last time I went back to try to read Preacher, I couldn't stand Jesse Custer anymore. I was like, in fact, I don't think I liked any of them. I mean, you're not supposed to like Cassidy, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, but it's then, and then reading The Boys is just it started out I was like, okay, maybe it's going to say something, and then just have some, and then just went, no, we're just going to have a dude fuck a meteorite because, he has a sex problem and there's a meteorite coming, and the only way to stop it is to fuck this glory hole that's on the back of it for some reason.
Yep.
And it's I
like it. I like it.
It's all right, whatever.
I always liked Garth Ennis because he's kind of like the discount Warren Ellis. I don't know. Warren Ellis is vulgar, but he tends to be a little bit smarter about it.
Yeah.
Garth Ennis is vulgar, and sometimes it works. Sometimes
you have a character like Hitman who throws up in the lap of Batman while in the Batmobile, and it's funny.
Yes.
And other times it's whatever The Boys is.
I wonder though. They're going to have to tone that down for the Prime series,
right?
Yeah,
so there's actually one
plot
point beat with the female superhero character.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
That I'm wondering if they're going to if they're going to go for it, or if they're going to just not do it, because I feel like if they go for it, it might hurt the show in the long run.
See, I read the whole thing, and I'm just like, I don't think they can do the comic. They can't 1-to-1 it. They cannot 1-to-1 it because the sex is too fucked up. And I'm not saying that it's. I mean, I've read all of The Boys, so I obviously, have I liked it more than you did, but you just can't put that shit on Amazon where just regular people can go watch it, right?
There's a whole
whole arc with the Professor X character in that universe that is just fucking fucked up, right?
Yeah. There's rape.
Yeah,
let's just call it what it is. There's moments where it's not presented as rape.
No,
but when you actually think about what happens on the page, it's no, that's fucking rape.
Yeah,
and I don't know if they can go there. And I actually will watch the show in hopes that they don't go there. But it's funny because Amanda asked to kind of explain some stuff with the Boys, and I actually broke it down, showed her the comic, and she got to that one of the scenes with that female superhero character, and went, I want nothing to do with this fucking book. This whoever wrote this can go fuck themselves. This is insulting.
Yep.
And
Now the thing is that the premise, just the top tier premise that superheroes are when they're not saving the world, that they're kind of fucked up because they're superheroes, and that you've got this group of people that are just kind of nasty paramilitary assholes who have to deal with this stuff to keep this kind of crap from spilling out into the world. That is a basic concept.
Yeah.
Can work, right?
Yeah.
I just don't think they can do it the way that they've that it's in the comics. Because it's just too much. It's just too fucking much. It would be like, again, it'd be some heavy metal X-rated cartoon that, you know, came out in 1982 or something like that. So, all right, Captain Innuendo writes in and says, howdy, Rage Crew. It's Captain Innuendo with a podcast question. So I've been reading a post-apocalypse short story collection. I'm really enjoying it. There are so many ways the world can end, and it's interesting to read about how humans can survive after the end. In the intro to the book, the editor asks an interesting question. What is it with our fascination with post-apocalypse stories? The post-apocalypse is pretty well ingrained into pop culture by now. Some of the most successful video game franchises take place after the end of the world. Do we secretly wish that the world ended so we as people could start over, or is it the perfect setting for stories about human nature? What do you think? What are your favorite post-apocalypses in media? Would you survive? Thanks for all the years of content. I hope it survives whatever cataclysmic event wipes us out. Your patron, Captain Innuendo. And he says, P.S. Jeff, in the vein of Belle Delphine, this is the perfect time to start selling Rage Select branded Gamer Boy bath water. You got to strike while the iron is hot. I can't give it away. I've got my whole, you know, jeffsbathwater.com is not doing very well. It's not doing very well.
I hope you actually register that domain.
I bet it's already registered.
Good point.
So what is our fascination with the post-apocalypse?
I think a lot of it is that it is a good setting to explore human nature. I do feel like that is a large portion of it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, because the whole thing of human nature is like society is this great thing that we've accomplished. We've created society, and it makes us better. And what happens when you take that away?
Yeah.
And also I feel like it's a thing where, you know, there's also a part of us that sees society as a shackle, as a prison, and wants just a situation where we can just do whatever the fuck we want.
Right.
It doesn't mean that as a person we're going to go off murdering and killing and raping and stealing and all these bad things. It's just you want, like, it's like if I just want to get in a car and drive across a fucking desert for 30 miles, you know, for gasoline. Sure. Like, that's fucking what I want to do.
Yeah.
You know, I can do it. You know, but
I'm with that one. I think that a lot of it is a way
it's a freedom,
a rejection of what people see as the shackles of society. That it's, you know, because the thing that a lot of this I'm going to be parroting from Jason Pargin over on Cracked, because he's talked at length about this, is that most people who want to see some kind of apocalyptic event, or they're just like, I welcome the meteor, you know, don't factor into their brain that, like, you know, most of these apocalypses, most people are dead. So statistically speaking, you're probably going to be dead.
Oh yeah, no,
when the apocalypse happens.
Yeah, let me say this. To the question of, do you think you would survive in the post-apocalypse? No. No, I would not. I've gone camping and almost didn't survive. Yeah. So, no.
I'm giving myself a coin flip. I'm giving it 50-50. Like, I don't think I would die immediately. It depends on what kind of apocalypse it is, right? If we're talking about, like, is it a running away apocalypse? Is it like a running from zombies apocalypse? I probably would end up dying because
if it's zombies, I am dead in the most oblivious way possible.
Yeah,
like
depends on the zombies. Depends on the zombies. Are they walking zombies, running zombies? What kind of zombies?
I wouldn't even know what's happening. Yeah, and I would just be walking, and I just get attacked.
You're just dead
and die.
Yeah,
like that's,
you're like that person at the beginning of the zombie movie that's just like walking down the street, and then the zombie runs up from behind them. Yeah, and the main character's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, or, you know, in like Shaun of the Dead, where he's like walking around and like there's people getting attacked behind him, and he just doesn't notice.
Yeah.
Because he's oblivious to it. Like, I'm the guy that's getting attacked.
Okay.
In the background.
I see it. But no, I feel like. But see, the problem that I have, and it's been a long time since I've gotten a chance to talk about this, John. So I'm going to fucking talk about it.
Yeah, do it.
The main problem that I have with most apocalypse scenarios is that the way that we got this society is that we people tend to work together, especially in times of crisis.
Yes.
Like, there is actual research done about how, like, as hateful as a person is, we have this instinct to band together in times of crisis to keep our species alive and to help each other out. Now, eventually, if things calm down, you get back to fucking I don't like my neighbor. There's blah. They believe in the squid god, and I believe in the robot god. But like that's in the squid robot apocalypse, which I think is one of the ones that could probably survive. But we band together to help each other. And so one of the problems that I have with apocalypse media is the idea that the society is so fragile that once it breaks, it's broken forever. And that the society that we've built is a one-time proposition. And that if it ever falls down, that the first thing that's going to happen is we're all just going to turn into crazy people. When what's going to happen is I'm cribbing from one of Pargent's things here. Like if you're a doctor, right, and there's a zombie apocalypse, right, people are going to need a doctor, not just for zombie bites, but if you break your arm, you want your arm fixed, right? If you get diarrhea, you could die. Like you can die from intestinal
dysentery
problems, yes, or you've got
Oregon Trail has taught me
a bad cold, right, or pneumonia or something, and you need antibiotics, right? But you don't know. Okay, so you go to a pharmacy, you break into the back of the pharmacy, you don't know what to take, how much of it to take, how long to take it. Like, is this
also what happens when it expires?
Right? Is it still okay to take now that it's been a year? Right? So a doctor may not be able to hack up zombies with a samurai sword, but he has a very, very specific skill that you're going to need. So he's going to set up a thing and say, hey, samurai sword people, shotgun Woody Harrelsons, if you come and protect me, then when you get diarrhea, I will give you the things to keep you from dying in a pool of your own shit when you get... or treat a broken bone, a sprain, a frostbite, sunburn, exposure, any of the things that can kill us. And then, from there, it's like you got people that know how to fix cars. And so you got to fix the cars. And then you trade, we're going to shoot this guy. And so very shortly, I feel like society, boom, is going to come back together again. We're going to find some farmers and be like, teach me how to grow food. And,
it's funny because, it's not a zombie apocalypse thing, but I feel like looking at a TV show called Jericho. Did you ever watch Jericho?
No.
Skeet Ulrich, a few other people. It's not an apocalypse or a post-apocalyptic world, but it is a world where like a bunch of nuclear bombs get set off in all the major government cities of America, and it's about this small town that literally they don't know what's going on. They're cut off. They have no power.
Yeah,
and they just band together to survive. Yeah, there are other towns that there are raiders and people who are trying to muscle in and like oh well, this is our town now, or hey, our town doesn't have a hospital. Your town does. We're coming in and we're gonna kill all of you and take all your hospital stuff.
Right.
There's stuff like that happens in it, but I feel like that's a more representation of what if an apocalyptic situation occurred, what would actually happen. Because at no point does society totally 100% crumble.
Yeah.
Like, yes, there is the panic period,
right,
where everyone's like, no, it's what's mine's mine and what's yours is yours, but get the fuck out of here or I'll kill you and take what's yours.
Right.
There's that moment. But then after a while, as things start to calm down and people start to go, shit, we're kind of fucked, aren't we? Let's work together and unfuck it,
right?
Kind of thing. Like they actually get together and start building it up, and it's a really good. I feel like that's a better representation of what would happen if an apocalyptic scenario were to occur. Now, mind you, again, that show wasn't a worldwide apocalypse. It was generally just the decimation of America. But I thought it was interesting. It's an interesting show. I definitely recommend watching it.
Yeah,
it sucks that it didn't get to end properly.
Oh, just got one of those cut off on season 4 cliffhanger.
So season 1 happened, and then it got canceled, and then the fans did a whole thing to save it, and did a whole thing where they sent peanuts to the studio because the one of the lines that the character says is "nuts to you" as a way to say "fuck you."
Okay.
And so basically everyone sent them nuts. And then the studio got bombarded with so many truckloads of peanuts that they just said, okay, we'll give you a second season. and then the second season happened, and they're like, well, the ratings still weren't good, so
Yeah.
we're canceling it, and this time it's for good. There's nothing you can do to bring it back. And then like they got a comic that actually was written by the showrunners that actually did end it.
Okay.
But it. Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not saying that you can't regress as a society, but I think we're still perfectly functional. You know, we get back to like a medieval level of society of like, you know, wagon wheels and cattle and, you know, all this stuff. Unless it's the robot apocalypse. Robot apocalypse is kind of all bets are off at that point because the robots, they're just gonna kill everybody.
Yeah.
Just gotta find
Terminators.
Fucking Terminators. So yeah, I don't know. But personally, I think that it makes for a good. I'm also on the money. I think that when it comes to writing stories, it's good for writing stories because it allows you to pressure. It allows you to let your characters kind of do whatever they want to without having to, like, you know, how do you have a job, right?
Yeah.
How do you eat?
I also think it also adds a way of doing something that's fantasy, without being fantastical or magic, while still keeping modern contrivances, you know, and just kind of putting in a situation where you have this kind of a place where it's a world to explore, and you don't know where everything is because everything's just fucking bad.
But then I think the people that actually honestly want apocalypses to happen, and I think there people are out there, I think it's just to get away from life, to get away from the day-to-day drudge. So let's see. Boop, boop, boop. Brandon writes in and says, Dear Jeff and John, Brandon here with one of them kick-ass questions. So I was in the mood for sci-fi games on the current generation and noticed there are barely any in comparison to modern or fantasy. We thankfully have some on the horizon. My question is, what are your favorite sci-fi games from this generation? Science fiction video games. Well, obviously Mass Effect Andromeda and then Anthem. You know, those are definitely the best two.
No comment.
Let's see. I'm gonna go to the wall. I'm gonna stand up here.
I'm just sitting here kind of. Well, you know, Outer Wilds.
Outer Wilds is good.
Totally science fiction. Totally great. Like I honestly believe that's one of the sleeper hit games of this year. Like that's like been one of the best space exploration science fiction-y games I've played.
Yep. Horizon.
Horizon Zero Dawn. Yeah. Horizon Zero Dawn's a
Prey. Prey is very good.
Prey's a very good one.
I'm looking through my PS4 games here, and this isn't all of them, obviously. Chicka choo. Would you consider Doom to be a science fiction game?
I was actually just thinking about that. Would you consider Doom a science fiction action? And I think I would because there's it's spacey. It's science. There's science fiction.
It's not the far-flung future, but Watch Dogs 2 is a kind of a near-future science fiction.
Yeah.
Titanfall 2,
Jeff loves Titanfall 2.
Big fan of Titanfall 2.
I've never played it.
And that's, giant robots and shit, right? What do we got here? So Resident Evil, Ratchet and Clank. Nier Automata, I think goes in there. That's a little bit more science fiction, but then it's also kind of a brain.
What's that one where you're playing the space station? That just got released a little bit ago, where you're like an AI on a space station.
Oh yeah.
You and Amanda played it.
Yeah, by the fuck. What was the name of that? I will look it up in just a second. As soon as I get done looking through all the games that I
heard that one was really good.
Destiny. No,
I feel like No Man's Sky has gotten better.
Yeah, No Man's Sky is definitely better than it was when it started out. See, I was thinking Evil Within 2 because that technically has some science fiction elements, but it's not.
It's more horror.
More horror. So that I got to put my Ragefinity gauntlet back up there. Let's try to think of a few more. If you're talking about like flying around in a spaceship doing stuff, I assume that's what he means by science fiction.
Was that good?
Starlink was okay.
Yeah, okay.
Let me just do a Google search. Let me do a Google search for science fiction games 2019. Actually, I'm just going to do a search for let's see, 2019. I don't know that we've gotten a lot this year. This year's been really weird. I was trying to think of let's do 2018. What was the name of that space station one? The guys that made Stories Untold. Observation, I believe that was the name of it.
Yeah.
Detroit.
Yeah, Detroit's a good one. Actually, I just thought of it. Literally, as soon as I saw the picture of it, I realized what it was. That's a good one.
I would say that, I mean, if you've got a PC and you got a real science fiction bug, Elite Dangerous might kind of fall into that category, but just flying around and doing stuff. But that's really it's a very simulation type of game. I don't know. I'm finding a harder time kind of finding stuff here.
I mean,
Quantum Break.
Quantum Break is kind of sci-fi.
Let me just see if I can go on Steam and do a search for it. I don't know. Maybe that's enough games.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned a lot.
Maybe that's enough games. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna say play all those games, check all those out, and then say I got Command & Conquer Red Alert 3 as sci-fi, which I guess it is, right? Alternate history.
Yeah, but it's also old. It's not this console generation.
Yeah, there have been some smaller games. Everybody knows that I'm have like the world's biggest boner for
Kerbal Space Program.
Well, that. But what's that one that was the
Bloodborne, Dark Souls, Demon Souls.
I'm not even saying those things.
You asked for things that you have a big boner for. So
the guy that made Gunpoint, and it's like you got the Heat Signature.
Oh, Heat Signature. Yeah.
I really like
pretty good.
Heat Signature, but that's just me. Yeah.
Actually, I'm really looking forward to his next game.
Oh, with the Mage Cops?
The Mage Cops.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool looking. Okay, yeah, we're gonna stop there. So, boom. Actually, here's another recommendation. Somebody who didn't sign their name says, I'm gonna call you Tangerine. Tangerine writes in and says, hey, Jeff and John, keep up the great work. I loved Hereditary and It Chapter 1, and I'm very excited to see Midsummer and It Chapter 2, but both Hereditary and It Chapter 1 managed to punch all the right buttons for my personal taste. I maintain horror is a very personal genre, and it makes it very hard to rate or critique effectively. Given this, what are your favorite horror movies and or qualities you look for in a horror movie?
I've actually not seen either of those movies.
Really?
And I own It Chapter 1. I bought it and never watched it.
Man, I did not. There's It Chapter 2 trailer.
I really want to see Hereditary, and I really want to see Midsummer.
Yeah,
because I've been hearing a lot of good things. Thinking might go see Midsummer in theater like this weekend. I don't know.
Okay, I liked Hereditary okay, but I feel like there's been a real. I talked about this a little bit on a previous podcast, but I feel like there's been a thing recently where like artsy, moody horror gets held up. Like there's this new kind of art house horror movement that's out there, and that it's really being held up as just like, oh my god, have you seen Hereditary? And I'm like, yeah, I saw it. It was all right. And it's like It Follows, right? Everybody just wouldn't shut the fuck up about It Follows, and I watched it and I was like, it was all right. I mean, I don't think I would watch it again. I was actually talking with Michael about this, I believe 2 podcasts ago, because I was talking about that movie with the guy and the deaf guy, the blind guy, where the people in Detroit and they like there's thieves and they break into his house and he turns out to be like an ex-special forces guy.
Oh, yeah, no, you talked to me about that.
That was you. Okay, good. No, yes, because last week we were talking about this guy, Ari Aster. We were actually talking about the kind of similar thing. How did Hereditary, that you hadn't seen that, did that come up last week on the podcast?
Yeah, probably.
What do you look for in a horror movie, John?
Well, I look for, as long as it has something that interests me, in all honesty, as far as looking for horror. Like, I'll watch trailers, and if it has something that, like, just either a visual scene or an idea, like, I'll be honest, if you want to talk to someone about horror, Amanda's the person to talk about it, because she is, like, I love horror movies, and I watch a lot of them, but she's, like, on another level when it comes to loving horror movies.
Okay.
Because she could recommend you things for days. I also typically will look for directors.
Okay.
Like, obviously John Carpenter or Guillermo del Toro or now Jordan Peele. Sometimes I'll also look for like vibes. Like there was, I was really interested in The Void before it came out because it had some of the people who had worked on The Thing, and it was all practical effects and like all that just kind of really interested me. The movie was okay. Like it wasn't like, for what its budget was, it was impressive. But the story could have been a little bit tightened up a little bit.
Okay.
Like it wasn't. It's okay. As far as like what I enjoy watching, I tend to like more psychological horror than just
Like
flat out
feature, physical stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like I love stuff like In the Mouth of Madness and which John Carpenter, but stuff like that. I don't typically like stuff that has jump scares for the purpose of jump scares, and I'm not really a huge slasher fan.
Okay.
But I do like movies like the remake of House on Haunted Hill. I fucking love.
Okay.
I like movies that also do deconstruct the idea of horror, like Cabin in the Woods or Shaun of the Dead or You Might Be the Killer. Like stuff like that. I like
Snaps.
Yeah, I like stuff that also, breaks down like what a horror movie is and like kind of plays with what it can be.
Yeah.
Doesn't have, so,
So I think that my list is, I like a movie that does something different.
Yeah.
Right. Like I don't just want to watch. It's one of the reasons why I feel like I've watched most of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, but then like there's large swaths of like the Jason and Halloween movies and Child's Play and some of the other slasher stuff that I haven't watched because I'm not really interested in watching the same story play out slightly differently, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then they try to make it different. It's weird. So I like variety, just like you were saying. I like it when something new. I look at it and say it's kind of like Midsummer. Is like you look at the trailer for that, where I was just like, this seems weird and different, kind of Wicker Man-y, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Like there's another movie that I can't think of the name of it, but it's like I can't remember what it's called, but it's like a hide and seek kind of thing where a woman gets married or is engaged to a guy, and he brings her home to his family, and then apparently it's a family tradition that whoever the spouse is has to play hide and seek, where they have to go hide, and then the family is going to find them, and if they find them, they kill them. Oh,
that's interesting.
Yeah, and it's I think it's like Ready or Not or something, or something like that. And it's interesting. Like Amanda pointed that out. She's like, I really want to see this. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah. The other thing is I have learned is that I am not a fan of I want things to happen. And it may just be because I'm older and because I've seen a lot of horror movies, but like I get real tired of atmosphere building that goes on for too long. Like I need things to happen in the movie, because if it's just
atmosphere
dread, it's what I didn't like about It Follows. But there was a lot of like kind of oppressive atmosphere in It Follows, and it was like, I get it. They're the monster's coming and they're all fucked up, right? Like more things. It's one of the reasons I really liked Happy Death Day, because it just like boom, like started, went, zang, like
another
right
movie I own, have not watched.
I recommend it. I liked it quite a bit. I watched it and the sequel, and I thought they were both quite good. I also like comedy in my horror because I think that laughing is a really good way to relieve the tension of horror, and if you keep your tension level too high for too long, for me, it breaks, and then I can't continue to be scared at your movie. So the reason why horror video games are difficult, because video games tend to be a lot longer than 2 hours, and keeping your tension ratcheted up for too long is a way to just deflate it. And then I'm like, okay, Amnesia, I don't give a shit anymore. Like I don't want to.
Yeah, I mean that's something that the people at Visceral talked about when they were making Dead Space 2 is that they talked about the fact that in Dead Space 1 they had ratcheted the atmosphere of the horror up too much.
Yeah.
And that they found that people would stop playing the game because it was just too much and they couldn't handle it anymore.
For me, it's one of the it's one of two ways. It's either that or I don't usually stop playing. I usually just stop being affected by it. And then it's just like, okay, I just start seeing the wireframe of the video game, right?
Yeah.
Which is why I think that horror.
Well, I mean, I stopped playing the remake of Resident Evil 2 because mind you, it was also due to something that was going on personally for me, but it was just my anxiety from the Mr. X. Was actually a little bit too much for me to handle at the time. I could probably go back and play it now and not have a problem, but like at the time, it was like kind of, I don't know. It was just really, really kind of messing with my head because it was just anxiety upon like I just hear the stomping. I'm like, okay, I can't do this. I need to stop and walk away. This is not the game I should be playing right now with the headspace that I'm in.
Yeah. And
then I keep meaning to go back to it and I just haven't.
The other one is, there's been a few recently, like The Conjuring. I thought The Conjuring was boring. I
like The Conjuring.
I watched it, and there wasn't like a clear what the fuck and resolution, and it was so much kind of oppressive dread. It just didn't work for me. But then, I was thinking there was another one. In the list, Drag Me to Hell. I didn't care for either. I was just like, this is just you're faffing around, and then you get to the end, and it's like, what was even the point of doing this? So I'm real picky when it comes to that sort of thing. Yeah. And I can't exactly tell you exactly what makes the thing and what makes another thing not work. Like the Ouija prequel.
I heard the second movie, which I think was the prequel. I heard that one was really good, but the first one was garbage.
Yeah, it was really good, and a lot of it was just family drama. But they got me involved. Like I'm not immune to family drama, and they got me into this family drama to the point where I cared what happened to the family. Right?
Yeah.
So then when things started happening, I was like, "Oh no, Susie, don't go in there," But that doesn't always work for me, Like I liked it and I liked it in Babadook. I was real invested in that lady and that kid in the Babadook, and so the Babadook doesn't even do very much, but it's just kind of like I don't know. It's hard to say. It's one of those. I don't know that I can like give you a list of criteria that would be a good horror movie because even sometimes things that hit all those things, like you know what. Jason's been telling me about Trick or Treat for years, and I've watched Trick or Treat a few times. I think Trick or Treat is okay.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie.
I don't know that I like it as much as the people that like really like Trick or Treat.
Yeah.
So
I know I introduced Amanda to Lord of Illusion for the first time.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Clive Barker. Yeah.
All right, let's take some Discord questions. We don't have that much time left. Let's see. Mike writes in and says, "Hey, Rage Knots. Everyone has at least one genre of games that they're not a fan of. With the veritable mountain of titles you've played through over the ages, are there any standouts?" Wait, did we answer this question last week?
No, I don't think so.
The veritable mountain of titles you've played throughout the ages, are there any standouts that you liked in spite of it being a type of game that you're normally not into? As an example, it seems like there's a fair number of people who don't like JRPGs who enjoy Persona 5. Second question, but I just thought of it, and I'm blatantly cheating the system. Are there any podcasts or shows that you'd like to guest on again? Keep on rolling down the river of life. Mike from the North. I don't think we mentioned this one last week, did we?
No, we didn't.
Okay. I don't have a way to like mark Discord questions as like read. So.
Yeah, no, we didn't talk about this one last week.
A game that you liked in spite of the genre that it's attached to. See, I like most genres.
Yeah, I don't think I hate anything.
I don't like sports very much.
I mean, if you want to go sports, I fucking love the NBA Street games.
Yeah.
Like NBA Street, NFL Street, like that whole Street franchise.
I really like that.
I fucking loved it.
What was that free to play PlayStation 3v3 basketball game?
Yeah.
You can play online with other people.
Okay.
I really, really enjoyed that.
I also really like Mutant League Football or Mutant Football League or whatever it's called. I kickstarted and got the game part of the Kickstarter.
I enjoy playing that. And like I don't like a crap load of racing games, but like I do like Mario Kart and I like Wipeout and I like Burnout, right?
Yeah.
I don't care for, I even had some, I feel like I like Forza Horizon a little bit more than.
Well, it's the more arcadey version of
Yeah. Well, it's like there's places to go. There's like roads to drive on as opposed to just do this race, do this race, do this race.
I'm trying to think. It's like, and I'm like, oh well, there's like the like music rhythm games. And I was like, no, I actually play a lot of music rhythm games because I love Guitar Hero and Rock Band, and I don't hate the Dance Central or the dance game, Just Dance or Dance Central as much as like. I actually kind of have fun with those every year when we do those every year, but that's the only time I ever play them.
Well, you can probably breathe. You probably have functional lungs.
Yeah, it's true. But I'm like, well, do I hate racing? I was like, no, I actually like racing games when they're good. Like, I love Burnout, the Burnout franchise, and I love.
I sound like technical racers, like Gran Turismo.
Yeah,
dirt.
Yeah, But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's like anything that I'm like, I guess for me, like, I don't know, like anything that's like overly complicated. Like, I guess like I'm not big on like 4X games or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Has there ever been a 4X game that you feel like you got into?
That's just it. I don't really know what. Like I feel like I don't like 4X games, but I'm pretty sure there's been a few that I've gotten into.
I was going to say, I think Overwatch is on that list for me because I don't play a lot of multiplayer online, but I do like playing Overwatch. And Minecraft. I don't like the survival games. Every time I play a survival game, I'm like, why don't I just play Minecraft? I don't understand why I'm playing this and not Minecraft. Hi, Don't Starve. You're not bad, but I could be playing Minecraft right now, so...
Yeah, that game's... you heard about the thing where the sales... Minecraft recently overtook Fortnite.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like, as far as, like, most played, most sales.
Yeah.
Like, Fortnite overtook Minecraft, and then, like, within the last couple of months, Minecraft took it back.
Okay.
And it's just like, what the fuck just happened? Why are people suddenly playing Minecraft again? Like, what brought that on?
Nobody stopped. They never stopped. I think Minecraft is the perfect game for children.
Yeah,
and
I honestly believe the Minecraft Go thing made people want to go back and play it.
Oh yeah,
so everyone started playing it again, and
AR game,
and then started playing like the like buying it on the new consoles if they didn't already buy it.
Right.
And,
I downloaded it on the Xbox One. I'm gonna see it in 4K. Like Game Pass. What was the other one? Are there any podcasts or shows you'd like to guest on again? John?
I feel like I did guest on some podcasts a while back, but I don't remember what they were. Like, because I also don't think the episodes I was on ever actually got made public.
Yeah.
Like, I did the recording, but I don't think they ever went live in any way, shape, or form. So
nobody ever asked me to guest on their podcasts except for you, John.
Yeah. Well,
I guess I've been on one of us from time to time. It's kind of nice being on somebody else's podcast where you don't have to worry about running the thing.
Yeah.
You just kind of sit back and be like, hot dogs. And everybody's like, ah, ha, ha, ha.
Is that what you do when you go over on one of us? You just yell hot dogs?
I just yell hot dogs. Wieners. Yep.
I'm always open to being on other people's podcasts. I don't care.
Yep.
Like, as long as it's something I can talk about, and I'll talk. I like talking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do you? Because this is only podcast like 304 or something like that. So.
Yeah, but I wasn't on all 304.
You've been on more of them than anybody else.
I know. Oh, I don't doubt that. I reached that milestone a long time ago.
RJ says, Jeff, and also John, what's your favorite David Bowie album? Did you like Black Star? Sorry for the short question, but I've always wondered. Thank you for everything you do and Ray John. You like Bowie? You big Bowie?
Yeah,
fan?
I like Ziggy Stardust.
Okay.
I actually enjoyed Black Star. I didn't hate it. Like, it was good.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a bad album.
It's so heavy.
Yeah.
I didn't dislike it, but it's just like it's kind of emotionally draining to listen to.
It is. It's very emotionally draining. It's a very heavy album. But yeah, I know.
I'm trying to think of what the I would like to say.
Like, unfortunately, when it comes to that era of music,
yeah,
like of his when in the like the prime of David Bowie,
yeah,
I would say I'm less a fan of specific albums and more just a fan of specific like greatest hits songs. So, give me a greatest hits album of David Bowie and I'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
As opposed to giving me, but I have really come to like the Ziggy Stardust album.
What's the Ziggy Stardust is a really good album. It's a really, really good album. But there's another one that's kind of around the same time. Is it Low? Oh, man. No, it is not. What album? The problem is this whole thing has like
EPs and
LPs and stuff all put together. So it's hard to just list. What's the one? Okay. Which album has the song Changes on it? That's the one I'm thinking of. Hold on. I can find that on Wikipedia. This is the internet.
Yeah.
David Bowie song. Hunky Dory is the name of the album. That one, it has...
That's a good album, too.
Changes, and Oh You Pretty Things, and 8-Line Poem, and Life on Mars, and, Queen Bitch.
That's actually a pretty solid album. That's probably my number 2.
Yeah, I think I probably put that one at number 1 just because I like Ziggy Stardust, but I think that one, I like the songs on this one are a little bit meatier.
I also am a sucker for a concept album, so that's why Ziggy Stardust kind of really hits for me.
I could totally see it. All right, let's move on here. Kate Josie writes in and says, "Dear Rage Select, over the past couple years, I've stopped looking up to people I considered heroes. Everyone, let's see.
Well, I hope you never considered us heroes.
Everyone has to be removed from their pedestals and put on the ground. I used to look up to celebrities in various fields because of their great deeds, discoveries, and works. Now, however, the accolades are still cool and wonderful, but the people are just people. You see my dad as a giant when I was a kid, starting around 22, who just became a man. At what point did your heroes go from giant to just like you?" That's from Kate. It's weird. I don't think that I ever idolized celebrities.
Yeah.
I think that my heroes were like Superman, like not Christopher Reeves, but like Superman.
I'll be honest, like even it's never gone away from me.
Okay.
Like I feel like even though yes, there's that point where you're like, oh man, these are people that are just like me, and I'm probably around my college years, like after I got out of high school, like kind of, and I actually got to meet some of these people who I was really big fan of, and idolized, and just kind of, and then some of them even became friends, So it was just kind of like one of those things, like, oh, they're just regular people. That's right. I'm the dumb. But even then, like, there are people who I look up to and idolize and think, oh man, they're awesome, that I will still get somewhat starstruck by.
Okay.
It also is weird to me, like, when Amanda and I will be out, and I'll just see like a local wrestler who I'm a fan of.
Okay.
Like, just out, and I'll be like, was that? And Amanda will be like, yes. And I'm like, am I making too big of a thing going, is that? And then they realize it, and they're looking over at me kind of puzzled, like why I'm like hushly like, is that who I think that is? And she's like, yes. Please stop. And I'm like, okay, all right, fine. Yeah, no, I'm good.
I think when it broke for me was the SpillCon, after we started doing Loading Bar, and the fans of Spill who come up to me and like treat me like I was something, like I was the special person.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, stop doing that. I'm just a regular person. And it was like, oh, if I'm just a regular person, then so is Keanu.
Yeah.
I mean, I also haven't met that many celebrities in my time. You obviously, we've talked about it before, where you have a lot more meeting celebrity stories than
It's also weird because, like I said, like one of the most recent one was like I was out walking my dog in my apartment complex, and a guy walked by, and I'm like, that guy looks really familiar. Where do I know him from?
Yeah.
I was like, he must walk around. I must probably see him walking around, because it was very clear he was coming from the gym that's across the street.
Right.
And then like halfway, like 3 steps away, I'm like, that's a dude who wrestles for this wrestling company. And I said it out loud, not thinking.
Yeah.
And he very much looked back like, did he just recognize me? Like, kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, like it caught him off guard that he just got recognized when he's just walking, not assuming he was just walking home and happened to cut through my apartment complex because it's quicker that way.
Yeah.
But it was just like weird.
Yeah.
Like it was just kind of like that weird moment where we're both like, was he referencing me or what? Kind of was like,
Are you sure they didn't look back because when he passed you, he was like, "Is that John Sitton from Geek Bombast?" And then he's like,
fuck no.
"Wait, that was John Sitton from Geek Bombast back there. That's John Sitton from Rage Select."
Yeah, no. Though I did have like one moment of that, but it wasn't for Geek Bombast, and it was for a podcast before that where I was literally walking at a convention talking to someone, and then someone in front of us stopped and went, "Wait, I recognize you both your voices, aren't you, John and so from such and such podcast?" And we're like, "Yes." He's like, "Cool, that's weird," and then walked off. And I was like, "Why is that weird?"
Yeah.
But no, like I guess. Also, another story is like I went to Chicago, Wizard World Chicago back in the day. Like I just went because I was in Minnesota at the time on working remotely. Like I got sent there for my job.
Okay.
To Minnesota to work on something, and then I realized that weekend was Wizard World Chicago, and I was like, Chicago is only like an 8-hour drive from here. Mm-hmm. Fuck, I'm gonna just drive to Chicago. Like Friday night, get out of work, get in the rental car, drive to Chicago.
Okay.
Don't have a hotel room or anything. Go to the convention for the day because I got a shit ton of per diem from my work.
Okay.
Which, for anyone who doesn't know what per diem is, it's just money that your company gives you so that you can survive while you're not at home, while you're working abroad for them. And literally was like parked my car. It was early in the morning. The convention hadn't actually opened yet, but people are like getting in their cars, parking and walking. I'm walking, and I just hear from across the street someone going, "Hey, Kevin Smith!" And I just kind of look over, and literally like 2 feet away from me is carrying a McDonald's badge, just Kevin Smith. And he's just like, "Oh, hey." I was like, "Oh, hey, Kevin Smith." And he's like, "Hey, just getting some McDonald's." I was like, "Cool, man," and just kind of kept walking.
Yeah.
Didn't like want to bother him or anything. I mean, that's my thing. Is like when I see celebrities or whatever out, I don't want to bother them. Like if they're in a situation where they're at a convention at a table where they're supposed to be bothered, like they're expecting to be bothered by people.
Sure.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll walk up and I'll be like, "Hey man, nice to meet you. I'm a really big fan. Thank you for everything you do, man.
Right.
That's really cool." But it's like if I'm just seeing people out and about, like just walking or at the store or at the comic shop looking through comics, I don't want to walk up. It's like, "Hey, you're fucking Robert Rodriguez. Aren't you awesome?"
Yeah.
It's like, nah, dude's fucking just trying to buy some goddamn comics. I worked at a comic shop for a while, and Robert Rodriguez shopped there quite frequently.
I'm trying to think, though. I don't know that I've ever had... going back to the question, though, about, like, your heroes, right? Like, as, like, personal heroes. I don't know that I have that many. I don't know that I have any that like I said that exist in the world as opposed to being fictional concepts like Superman. Like is there like a celebrity or something, like a famous person that you say you would like look up to as like a personal hero? Just out of curiosity.
I mean, I did actually look up to both like Kevin Smith and Robert Rodriguez as far as like filmmaking, because there was a period of my life where that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Though I didn't know what I wanted to do within the filmmaking world.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were kind of like in this position of like they weren't regarded as the greatest directors in film ever. Yes. But they were like at like what felt to me an achievable level of success at this point.
Right.
And like these were guys who either dropped out of film school or whatever, dropped out of college, went and made a film and got some success off of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And that was very inspirational to me.
Okay.
As I'm sure it was for a lot of people.
That sounds like you never really like put them up on a pedestal, though. It's like you realize that they were kind of like aspirational heroes.
They're aspirational heroes.
But you knew that they were just people.
I mean,
ish or I don't know.
Ish. I would say Kevin Smith. It wasn't until much later in his career that I was like, "Oh yeah, no, he's just a dude." But Robert Rodriguez. Even then, it was like, "Oh, even though he's a more competent person, whatever." But yeah, no, I don't know. Like a lot of people like that I looked up to, like in comics, like comic writers, and a lot of them were really cool people. Like I said, some of which I even became friends with. But it's I do look up to a lot of this because a lot of them inspire in different ways.
Okay.
Because a lot of them wrote the stories that inspired me to like characters that I looked at, like Green Lantern or Batman or Superman or Spider-Man or Captain America wrote these characters. And not only did these characters become my heroes, but the people writing them or drawing them were also my heroes because of that.
Okay. Fair enough. I don't know that I have heroes. I just don't know that I really do.
Would you say
look up to
there's
people.
No more heroes?
I mean, like, I look up to people, certainly, but not that many of them. And I think that there's I think that I've never had like a great, I'm just trying to address a question about this great letdown, because I've always been very much aware that the people that I look up to are people, right? None of them are larger than life because they're all just
Yeah. I mean, there are people who I've become fans of, and then they've done stuff that made me go, oh, they're not as cool as I thought they were.
Yeah. I don't know. The thing is that, again, it comes down to I mean, I don't know. I'd maybe like to talk to Kojima, but I don't even know if I mean...
There are people that I like. There, like I said, there are creators and probably even to a point, actors or directors or whatever, where I would fanboy a little bit being around.
Okay,
but it's just because, like I said, there's a level of it that never goes away.
Fair enough. All right, let's do one more, and then we're gonna get out of here. Let me just see what I got here real fast. We did horror movies. We did. Let's see. I'm going to go with this one. Mr. Introspective on the Discord asks, Masters of Rage and the Good Times, this question is for you. So no one's ever really made a huge deal about my birthday, but what's something that someone has done for you that made you happy? It doesn't have to be a gift or anything, just a way to show you their love. And that's from Mr. Introspective. I assume that he's talking about on your birthday, or they, or whatever. But birthday related, have anybody ever done anything that just really gotcha for your birthday?
Of course. I mean, yeah, there's always been stuff that have, and not even like just having, I mean, Amanda has done stuff for me. I mean, hell, our first date was on my birthday.
Yeah.
We got married on my birthday. Also, one of my birthdays, she gave me a stuffed teddy bear that had a luchador mask and boxing gloves because it was based off of a drawing that I did of a bear wearing a luchador mask and boxing gloves.
Okay.
And she got me a stuffed version of that. Because it was a thing that I had that I really liked and that I drew. And so she was like, I got you a stuffed version of it, and I'm like, that's amazing.
Here's that thing that you thought of.
Yeah.
Wow. I think the only time, I mean, like, I've had to make my own birthday. I've never ascribed to the idea that somebody else has to do something for my birthday, because generally speaking, I've been single and I'm an adult man, and so like if I want to do something for my birthday, I'm like, hey everybody, I'm going to come over here and get drunk on my birthday. Come here and hang out with me while I do that.
Yeah.
Or don't. You're all adults and have lives. But there was one year where somebody threw me a surprise party that I kind of fucked up a little bit, because it was at a bar, and they like messaged me and they were like, oh, are you going out tonight for your birthday? And I was like, I was thinking about going to this place, but I don't know. I'm kind of tired. I might just stay home and watch Ghostbusters. And they were like, no, you have to come. And this person got me like Jim's. Were you there for that one?
I was not there for the beginning of it.
Okay.
I was there for the later part of it.
Didn't get me a cake. Got me Jim's biscuits and gravy, and put candles in Jim's biscuits and gravy. And people actually showed up with presents. I think one of the fans gave me a Doritos Locos taco, which I was like, this is the most Rage Select thing that's ever happened in my entire life.
Yeah.
But that was a really fun night. And like, I legitimately didn't see it coming, because I'm just it's not the sort of thing that I ever expect from other people.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
But yeah, no, I've definitely, there was, I mean, one year Amanda basically hit a post from me on Facebook that basically told a bunch of people to buy stuff for me for my birthday. Yeah. And like literally I just started getting stuff in the mail. Like it wasn't even marked who it was from. It was just like stuff off my Amazon wish list, and even stuff that wasn't on my Amazon wish list that was as a gift for me.
Wow.
And it was just like, I I was really touched because I wasn't expecting it. Like not even by the specific items that I was getting, but just by the fact that so many people did it.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Cool. Very cool. Well, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
Mail@radiosite.com is the email address. Send your questions in. I still got a few more Discord questions. I feel like our questions have been veering off into subtopics recently.
Yeah,
so
we've been. I've been rambling a little bit.
That's all right. That's all right. Anyway, send them in. And with that, we're done. We're done.
See you later.
We'll see you next week. Bye.